cycle day 18 and time to put sticks in the monitors again. Not sure whether or not it's going to read another peak or if it's going to go back down to high. But we're going to go ahead. I've already dipped the wand foe because they take longer to develop than the sticks, and you can see the control line has already come up and a little bit of a test line. So I'm going to dip the sticks for the monitors. And stick those into, as you can see, it says test day like normal. You make sure that that notch is pointing down and stick that in there until you hear the click. It will then say identifying test. And now it is testing. Same thing for the other monitor. Dip the stick. Put the cap on it. Make sure that your notch is facing down. Turn on the monitor. Cycle day 18. It's asking for a stick. Stick the notch into that little hole up there, and then press down until you hear it click. It will then start flashing with no arrow indicating that it is reading. Okay, so while both of those are going, yesterday on cycle day 17 I did get a peak reading, and I'm not exactly sure what the monitors are going to say today, if they're going to give me another peak or not, because this morning when I put in my BBT, my basal body temperature has actually did a major shift upwards. So I'm pretty sure that I actually did ovulate yesterday. I'm just not sure if my hormones have went down yet. So we will see what the monitors have to say. But as far as my basal body temperature, it's looking like I did actually ovulate yesterday on the first day of peaks instead of like normal. Since I've been using the monitors, it has pretty much been like clockwork that my ovulation day would be on the second day of peaks. So for my temperature to have already rose so significantly, that's a little bit different for me. Which I get, the herbs and supplements that I'm taking, they're doing their jobs and they are working quite well. Ovulating on day 17 would make this cycle a 31-day cycle, which is I haven't had a 31-day cycle in a very long time. My last cycle lasted 59 days, and it was very grueling waiting for ovulation, and there for a while I didn't know whether or not I had just missed ovulation, and I was doing pregnancy tests all the time, or if I was waiting to ovulate. I didn't know what was going on. And the reason that that was is because the cycle previous to that, I had actually had a chemical pregnancy and was pretty devastated over it. So I quit monitoring altogether. The only thing that I did at the beginning of my cycle was reset my monitors to cycle day 1. And then for 2 or 3 weeks I didn't do anything at all. And we ended up baby dancing, and whenever I put the baby dancing into Fertility Friend, because I had had a little bit of time to, digest what had happened and kind of emotionally heal from it, I ended up realizing that I had ovulated a few times during that time that we had actually ended up baby dancing during that cycle. So I thought, it kind of gave me hope that maybe that cycle wasn't a waste and maybe I should start tracking again. So I started tracking with the OPKs, but I wasn't doing my basal body temperatures, and which I should have been, because like in the beginning of this cycle, if I hadn't have been doing the OPKs with my monitors and the Wanfo strips, then I would have thought Fertility Friend was right and that I had ovulated on cycle day 12, which was completely false. I actually didn't ovulate until cycle day 17 of this cycle, so that's part of the reason why I feel like it's so important, if you're tracking your fertility, to track everything. Because your temperatures are, I look at it like it's one big piece of your fertility puzzle. Each aspect of it is just one piece, and if you're missing a piece of it, then you're not really getting the whole picture. If I had only been doing my temperatures this cycle and following what Fertility Friend had said, then I wouldn't have continued baby dancing, and I would have actually missed my fertility window by way off, and this cycle would have been a complete bust if I hadn't have been continuing using these OPKs and ovulation strips. And if I hadn't been checking my cervical position and my CM, which is cervical mucus, then I wouldn't have had any indication that Fertility Friend might not be right, because my secondary fertility signs were still telling me that I was still very fertile and that ovulation on cycle day 12 was highly unlikely. So I kind of look at it like, your CP, your CM, your BBTs, your ovulation strips, your monitor, and your symptoms and things like that are all just one piece of one big puzzle. And at the end of the month, when you put them all together, it's really nice to look back and see that everything lines up correctly and that you in fact did, because now I can look and see that all of the days leading up to cycle day 17 were all of my secondary fertility signs were all those of high fertility. And even though I had some signs of high fertility on cycle day 12, they were not as strong as they were after cycle day 12. So, I really, really advocate and hope that you guys see, just through what has happened with my cycle this month, how important it is to kind of incorporate a little bit of everything into what you're tracking, because it can really, just following an app can be completely wrong. Just following your OPKs can be wrong. I really think that it takes, everything to put that whole picture together for your fertility and for you to have peace of mind to know that everything came together and your body is working correctly, and to have a definitive answer as to when you ovulated, so that you know that you timed everything correctly, because that is the most important part of all of it, is that you're baby dancing at the correct times in order to optimize your chances of conceiving. So we've had some beeping going on. The older monitor is asking me to take the stick out. It's still reading peak fertility, which I believe that the older monitors are set to default peak fertility on the second day, but I'm not exactly sure on that. As you can see, the LH line on there is not as dark as it was yesterday. The lines aren't even. So my luteinizing hormone is coming down. We'll see what this one has to say. It says remove test. I'm going to remove that. Enter in my PIN. And it's also registering another peak, which I have heard before that these monitors are set to peak for 2 days in a row, no matter what your stick says. So whether or not that's a myth or not, I'm not sure, but I know that me personally, if I get a peak, I've always had a peak for 2 days in a row. My temperatures went from yesterday, they were at 97.75, and today it is at 98.6. So that's a pretty significant leap in temperatures, indicating to me that I have ovulated. If I go into Fertility Friend and I create some fake temperatures for the next 3 days, I'm pretty sure that it will give me solid crosshairs for cycle day 17, saying that I have ovulated on cycle day 17. But that's why it's important to keep doing your temperatures, so that you can get those crosshairs, and it shows you exactly when you did ovulate. The Wanfo, this is what it looks like. It is not quite positive, but just about positive. Not as positive as yesterday's was. So my fertility, even though the monitors are still saying peak, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to go ahead and baby dance again today, just in case. But for me, it's looking like I am officially in the 2-week wait, and that this is my first cycle of having a normal cycle, so I'm super excited to see what happens. We have a few days of waiting until I start testing. I will probably start testing around cycle 6 or 7 DPO, just to keep things exciting, and I will do all of that live, so you can get my genuine reaction to what the tests are. And I'm going to work super hard in the next couple days to get my camera and everything set up in a different room. Right now I'm trying to find some editing software so that I can make these films a little bit better for you guys, and I'm working on a few other different things. So give me a little bit of time, and I will try to make sure that I am providing you guys with the best quality videos, and doing the best that I can so that you as the viewer are getting everything that you need out of this channel, and I'm delivering it, you know, with top-notch quality, because that matters to me. So, thanks again, ladies, for continuing to watch and like and subscribe to this channel. I truly do appreciate it. You guys are what keeps me going with this, and just thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really, truly appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments or suggestions about videos that you would like to see, please leave them in the comments down below. I will reply to you as soon as I possibly can. And thank you, ladies, for watching. And I hope you have a lovely day. Bye.